I'll find the link and send it to you. Now I have the decision to make. It was like senior housing or something.
No, Good evening. I'd like to call the City of West Bend Plan Commission for Wednesday, November 7th, 2018 to order and recognize that we do have a quorum this evening with 6 Plan Commissioners in attendance. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3 tonight is approval of the minutes from the regular Plan Commission meeting of October 2nd, 2018. A motion has been made and seconded. Any questions, comments, or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Item 4 under development proposals is 4A1, CSM-18-015, create a lot for the West Bend Little League located at 600 East Water Street by Ted Dumke of Washington County, who is the agent, and the applicant is Washington County. We have a presentation tonight by Business and Development Specialist Jim Ranke. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. This certified survey map is for the lands located on the north side of East Water Street, just at the far east end on the Washington County grounds. The purpose of the CSM is to create a 13.2 acre lot to be transferred and owned by the West Bend Little League organization. The property is zoned I-1 Institutional and Public Service District. Upon transferring of the lot and change of the ownership, the ball fields themselves and the facilities would be a legal non-conforming use. At some point in time, if they wish to make improvements, we would eventually do a comprehensive plan change and a zoning change to park and open space to make it a conforming use so they could expand their use in the future if they so desired. The lot has access from East Water Street. There's a parking lot at the far east end, and then the ball fields themselves also have access from Water Street. Adequate right-of-way is provided for Water Street. The CSM also identifies various easements that exist on the property for We Energies, sanitary sewer, water, and storm sewer. There is another sanitary sewer main that runs along the southern edge of the property, just parallel with Water Street. And then prior to changing ownership of that property, we would need to provide a municipal storm or a sanitary sewer easement for that line that services this whole area up in that area. So staff would recommend approval of the CSM with the condition that we create that municipal sanitary sewer easement.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim?
I have one, please.
Sure.
Would this mean then this is not under the purview of the county anymore?
Once it transfers out of the hands, it would not be purview of the county anymore.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion on the item.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 And opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations to the Little League for entering into land ownership. I'm sure you'll continue to do great things back there off Water Street. Again, under item 4, 4A2 is XCSM-18-016. Create 3 lots located north of Newark Drive and a quarter mile west of Salisbury Road by Mary Van Beek, who is the representative of the agent, Clarence J. Van Beek Trust. She's the applicant, and the agent is Kevin Parrish from Quam Engineering. And again, another presentation by Jim.
Thank you. This certified survey map is to create 3 residential lots. This is located just northwest of the city corporate limits. The purpose is to create the residential lots. The CSM is within our sanitary sewer service area and is identified as single family in our 2020 comprehensive plan. Lots 1 and 2 will have access to Newark Road, and lot 3 actually has access to Frederick Place. A 50-foot right-of-way dedication is being provided for Newark Road, and the CSM also identifies various wetlands on the properties. Minor technical corrections are needed on the CSM prior to recording, and staff would recommend approval of the CSM with the condition that those technical corrections be made.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim? I would entertain a motion on the item.
I'll recommend to move to approve as presented.
A motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations to the Van Beeks and good luck. Last item tonight is item 4B under 2020 Comprehensive Plan. 4B1 is discussion, consideration, and permission to set a public hearing for an amendment to the 2020 Comprehensive Plan for the City of West Bend from multifamily land use to industrial land use for approximately 15 acres of land located on the northeast corner of University Drive and West Decorah Road by Jason Johann Sand and Gravel, who is the applicant, and a presentation by Jim.
Thank you. Mr. Johan has submitted a request for a consideration for a comprehensive plan change for the 15 acres located at the northeast corner of University and Decorah Road. This parcel used to be a gravel pit, which has been filled over time, and the applicant is requesting a change for the land use plan. Back in 2011, as part of the boundary agreement, this property was brought in as a G2, and the property is temporarily zoned at this time. The land use change for this area would be under the sole discretion of the city, unlike some of the other areas that we have in the boundary agreement where it needs to be agreed upon between the town and the city. In this case, the city has the sole control and determination of the land use and the zoning for this property. The developer has provided a concept plan to go with the consideration. The developer is proposing to put in the initial development would consist of a 100 by 100 repair shop and storage shop for his business that he has in conjunction with the gravel pit. They're also considering the possibility of expanding into some mini warehousing or cold storage as future development for that site. The consideration for this is being requested due to the previous use, the surrounding uses that we have in the 2020 comprehensive plan has multifamily to the north, to the northeast, single family to the north and west, and then open space on the south. The lands to the south would remain in the town as part of the boundary agreement. Along with the comprehensive plan change, a zoning change would also have to take place in order for the storage units and the storage garage and repair shop there. For that to occur, light industrial M1 use would need to be, or zoning would need to be established on that property. Given the severe grades and the changes to the south and east, along with the unknown subsurface conditions from the previous filling when the quarry was ceased in that area, and the condition of the fill that was placed in there, and the proximity of the utilities for development, this would be a consideration for the request to change it from the multifamily use to the industrial use. Again, the developer is asking the commission to take into consideration the change of this use, and along with the change of use would be the zoning request for the light industrial. If the commission would find the use to be acceptable, staff would recommend that a public hearing be set for January 2nd at 6 o'clock to hear any comments or concerns regarding the land use change. And then at the same time, we'd also have another public hearing to address the zoning amendment request change from the temporary to light industrial.
Thank you, Jim. Are there any questions for Jim? Jim?
Thank you. Jim, what other uses could come under the M1 Light Industrial District? So what type of industries? You know what I mean?
Typically with the light industrial, it's typically light industrial, some processing assemblies, nothing very heavy. It would be, small machine shops. We have a couple of conditional uses where you could have a construction company as a construction yard, but most of it's light processing and assembly.
With low impact, or is this similar to some things like we have in the Southside Industrial Park, some of those uses?
No, this would be lighter. This is light assembly. It's not like a metal craft or anything.
The uses, even though they would be permitted, some of those uses, even though they're permitted under the M1 zoning, would not be very likely for two reasons. One, the geophysical conditions out there may not support those type of buildings and foundations. And second, almost all of those will need some form of sanitary sewer and municipal water, especially for fire protection, in order to do confined warehousing and the rest of it. So more than likely, the cold storage that they're requesting would be the upper limit of what would occur out there.
Yeah, I have no issue with the cold storage. I just wanted to make sure that if there's going to be any other usage come in, that by and large it's going to have to come before this body. I would hope, so that we would have a purview to it and also render a verdict, so to speak. Thank you.
Max?
Thank you. Does this process tie the property owner or the developer to any timetable as far as when they have to actually proceed with the development, or any phasing of the development?
I don't think that there would be a timetable that they'd have to present a plan or anything to the commission for approval. I mean, the first step is to change the land use and then establish the zoning. So we would see subsequent plans for plan commission for the proposals, site plan proposals and what have you for their various developments.
Answer your question? Basically, no. Anybody else?
I guess
Jed?
it means they don't have a timetable.
Yes.
They don't have to have it done within 5 years or anything like that. No, okay.
Jed?
I don't know, Commissioner White and I may be on the same wavelength. I have no problem with the proposed use. It's that the zoning, once you zone it, of course, it opens the door to anything. But, and I'm thinking right away, someone puts a drop forge in there, and I'm thinking about the residential area that's above it. But it almost sounds like because of the layout, the land and everything, it's almost self-limiting as to what can be done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think, again, the physical properties of the site, the lack of public utilities at a cost-effective, there is no proximity. They're a quarter mile away, plus have are a very expensive extension. The chances of having an extensive development there is pretty minimal. But it is, we would actually have to look at that. But anything that develops there does have to come back before you as a site plan approval.
Oh, okay.
Can we put in the packets, assuming we go forward, can you pull out the section of light industrial, put it in the packet so we can get a little flavor for
We'll provide
what
you
those
the
uses are
complete
for the
list of
next-
M1.
Perfect. And then I know the answer to this question, but I just want to get it, I guess, on record and make sure everybody's thinking about it, that future development here would be tied to the urban design manual, just like any other development, from a asphalt, landscaping, building design standpoint.
They will have the same site plan requirements that we have of all other developments in the city.
Even though there's nothing out there right now, that they'll still have the same architectural requirements and all of those things. Just wanted the guys to know that and hear it ahead of time. So as you're starting to play around with stuff, just check that urban design manual out online and you'll see some of the building requirements. And it's at least 45 feet down in the hole, right? There are ways. All right, anybody else, any other questions? Otherwise, I entertain a motion on just moving this forward to the next step, which is a public hearing.
Second.
Yeah.
Motion has been made and seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations, guys. Look forward to the next couple of steps. And being no further business before the Plan Commission, I adjourn. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you.